Hey, this is Rich over at TVP Live with another quick tips tutorials brought to you by Adobe Photoshop Elements Custom Tutorials Group. And let's jump right into today's poster who wanted to take this photo of tomatoes and replace the background with a solid color background. So let's go ahead and assume that they want something not in the dark area and not in the light area. So we'll pick something in the neutral. So I'm going to zoom in here. I will first want to pick the color of the new background. So I'll take the eyedropper tool and I'll just find something right here in the middle and I'll click it right there. And you'll see down here in the corner, that's where that color picked. And if I left click on this, you can see that's the exact color and this is the color value. We're going to go ahead and keep that color value and make a whole new layer right here. I click that and that's our empty layer. Let's go ahead and fill that empty layer in with our new color. So I'll go over here to the paint bucket and come over here in the middle and just left click and boom, there's our new solid color. We can change it to any color we want, but we'll just go ahead and stick with this color for now. Next thing we're going to do is take that color into the background. Right now it's in the foreground and you can see it because you don't see the tomatoes obviously. If I turn it off right here, you'll see the next layer down, which is the tomato layer. So what we want to do is take this top layer and bring it down below the tomato layer. So I'll go ahead and try to drag it down here and look, it's not letting me do that. Why not? Because that tomato layer, the original photo, is locked and there's a little lock right there. If I left click on it, it unlocks it. Now we can take that top layer and drag it down below. And now you'll see the top layer is the tomato layer. And I can toggle that on and off like that. I'll go ahead and turn off the background for a second and work on the tomatoes. Now normally in the past I would use an eraser, a soft brush eraser, and carefully erase around the edges of the object. But since these are hard edged objects, as I zoom in, they're pretty kind of hard edged. They're tomatoes, so they're not going to have a soft edge. So I think we might be able to use the magic tool in this particular case. So if we click on the magic tool and look down here at the tolerance, it was just by default set to 25%. I don't think that's going to be perfect, and I'll show you why. Let me make sure I pick the right layer that I want to get rid of its background. If I click in the middle here, you'll see what's happening. It's not picking very much. So if I hit delete, you can see it's not picking enough of what we want in the background. I'll go ahead and click Control Z to undo. And what we want to do is make this tolerance higher. So instead of 25, let's try 50%. So I'll change that 25 to 50. And let's try this again. Click somewhere in here. That's a lot better. If I hit delete, that's a lot better. But you can see there's still leftover pieces and portions that need to be gotten rid of. So let me go ahead and undo that. And let's try that one more time and change this tolerance down here to, I don't know, something like 80% value. Now we'll try that again and look at that. And it picked the whole background, and if I zoom in you can see the little marching ants. They're right on the edge of the tomatoes. That looks really good. So now if I hit delete, it deleted, and I'll do Control D to deselect. It picked the whole background, leaving just the tomatoes. As a matter of fact, I can grab the tomatoes with the left mouse button and move them around anywhere I want. Now if we turn on that background, that solid color background we made earlier, by turning this little eye right there, you can see now we have our new background with the tomatoes, and there we go. But we did lose one thing. That's the drop shadow of the tomatoes. So now what we have left to do is to recreate the drop shadows. And since these are hard-edged objects, that should be really easy by using the built-in drop shadow maker in Elements. If we right-click on this layer and go down to Edit Layer Style, the box that opens up is going to give us an options here, and drop shadow is the top option. So I'm going to click that right there, and these are our values: the size, the distance, and the opacity. For now, let's bring the opacity all the way up to 100, and now we were going to work on the size and the distance. The size, we can make that bigger like that, and you can see what's happening down here. But we also want to make the distance a little further. So I'll drag this over like this, and you see what's happening. It's moving it away from the object underneath, but it's in the wrong position. It should be over here like it is in the original. And all you got to do is move this right here, and you can change the whole position of where you want it. So in our particular case, in the original photo, it was something like this, like at around 27 degrees right there. It was right around there. Now the distance is too far, so let's lessen the distance. That looks good at about 100% there. And as far as the size is concerned, I can lessen it to make it sharper, or I can make it more fuzzy. which makes it look like it's further away. I think I like it right around here at about 80%. Now finally, with the opacity, we're going to lessen the opacity because the shadows obviously are too harsh. So I'll bring that down from 100. I'll bring it down little by little until we're satisfied. So I think something like around 65%. That's looking pretty good. I'll hit OK and I'll click out of the box here. And there we go. We got the tomatoes recreated with their drop shadow. As a matter of fact, I can move these around still. So well, that's about it for this tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Rich calling it quits, saying over and out.